So you just had a couple of hours of hands-on time with the crew, Ubisoft's kind of open-world social racer.
That's right, I did drive around all of the Americas.
All of the Americas. So this isn't necessarily a game where you want to come first, is it?
No, I mean, like, there are factions that are present in the game, and when you're part of your crew, or the crew, you kind of, you help each other. Although that being said, a lot of it was spent accidentally crashing into each other and hindering each other during races. Accidentally. So in the crew, when we were doing like the crew versus crew races, it was like a 4v4 race, and it wasn't necessarily like the person who came first meant that their crew would be coming first. It was a point-based system. So we had a case where, someone in my crew came first, but someone in our rival crew, they placed someone placed second and someone placed third and fourth. So they actually beat us overall in the race because they accrued more points.
And you've got this constant sort of positive reinforcement with these points coming in that you're getting not just for being in the lead or drafting. You're still like, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to run them off the road? Are you trying to just like drive recklessly?
Well, it depends. There's like lots of different races. So we did like performance races and like off-road kind of dirt bike kind of style, dirt track style races as well. And like that was just utter chaos, and it was hilarious to see. But at the same time, there's like the whole leveling system that exists in the crew. So each time you complete a race or you manage to complete a mission, you accrue points that you use to level up, and like you buy new parts and you pick up parts from each mission as well to upgrade your car.
Do your cars have abilities? Is there anything that you can sort of deploy while you're in a race itself, or are you sort of limited to the realistic sensation of actually just driving a car?
Well, I wouldn't say abilities is the correct term. So we had a developer walk us through, what they were going for, and he said they actually had like items, like similar to an RPG. They had item slots in for the car. So you know how in RPGs usually you have like a helmet slot, an armor slot, a hand slot, etc. They had all those but in the car, so it was like
So your car has an inventory.
Yeah, you could say it's something close akin to that.
Tuning and customizing your cars is a very key element of the car experience. I want to be unique, I want to create my car. How do we make it possible for the players to get a meaningful tuning experience, a long-lasting tuning experience? We wanted to make it easily understandable and accessible. And for that, RPG mechanics actually ended up being a very good answer to make all this process very smooth, very progressive, and to put the player into an always positive mood of gaining again and again, and a very progressive reward for all the effort you do playing through the game and going through it. And so those RPG mechanics, in the service of making the tuning understandable and accessible, it really made sense.
So I know the developer was talking about the metagame with the faction that you join, and the fact that you are going to have these seasons sort of reset at the end of each period. So you can join the winning faction and you're not going to get as many rewards, is that right?
That's right. So the way that they're trying to balance out people joining like faction populations is that you're awarded in your faction not only for how well your faction is doing, but also your individual rank in the faction.
If you choose a faction which is first and which draws most players to it, then it will be much more difficult for you to go to the top of the rankings, and your benefits within the faction will be lower. On the other hand, you can try and decide to go into a faction with less people into it, and therefore with a much better chance of rising into the ranks and going to the top of the faction, and therefore getting better rewards for you. So we try to automatically balance this possible unbalance by actually making it possible for you to get different rewards depending on the faction you choose and the risk you take.
So when you're actually in a race, you're not actually limited to the road itself. You can just veer off and go cross country, can't you?
Not necessarily. If you're in a mission type race, you do have to follow the track, and if you veer off course, then you will be, you won't be winning the race anymore. So you there's no purpose for you there's no reason for you to veer off course and ignore the race altogether. When you join into a mission, you need to complete it to be able to reap the reward. But when you're free driving, of course, you can just like go anywhere you want and do whatever you want.
Were there any civilians on the road that would sort of like jump out of the way of the car, or did you never see another person?
Oh no, there were plenty of civilians. I mean, like LA was like a living, breathing hub. Although I couldn't kill any pedestrians as much as I tried, they seemed to be pretty invincible.
Yeah.